Good morning, Mario.
Okie dokie.
Good morning, Mario. And good morning, Nintendo fans. We've talked so much lately about Nintendo's first-party output, like Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, and of course, the rumored Switch Pro. But today, let's talk about some other people and some other games. There's other companies that make stuff for Switch, and there is a big one that might be coming based on some new interviews and some new previews. We gotta talk all about Mass Effect Legendary Edition hitting Switch in the near future, as well as another major port studio putting out more games this summer. What could they be? And what do you want to see from third parties hit Nintendo Switch in 2021? What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce, your resident YouTube mug game champion. I think this one is out of this world, but I'm going to take you literally out of this world with the Mass Effect Legendary Edition details. Now, if you guys are excited about new stuff coming to Switch, smash that like button and let me know if you've played Mass Effect or if you'd like to play Mass Effect. This game holds a very special place in my heart, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But first, I want to give you the nitty-gritty details. The Legendary Edition is releasing on the other guys in May 14th to be specific. But it isn't coming to Switch. Or is it? Some very interesting words were spoken today by the project lead, Mac Walters, over at Bioware. They asked him about, will the Legendary Edition ever hit Nintendo Switch? And this edition has a lot of upgrades, some really cool stuff. He would not rule it out. He said, personally, I love it. But ultimately, I think we had a path set, and it was like, let's finish that, then let's sort of see where we're at. And they even kind of threw in there, hey, maybe they're waiting for more powerful hardware, because we know the Switch Pro is probably happening. In fact, Nintendo, during their investor call, wouldn't rule it out either. Instead of flatly denying a Switch Pro, they said, we're not announcing a new Switch anytime soon. We've got the Mario bundle in February, and we've got the Monster Hunter bundle in March, and we hope you're excited about those. So could this game be one of the first titles to take advantage of the new Switch hardware in the second half of 2021? Well, it looks really, really cool, and I would be personally super excited. As I mentioned, Mass Effect means a lot to me. It's one of my last childhood video game memories. Mass Effect 1 came out in 2007, and I woke up Christmas morning before everybody else. I'm 17 years old, and I played the rest of ME1. Like 5 hours of the game before everybody woke up. It was like 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. I finished the game and I was just jazzed. I was on this space high. I was like, dude, I am the astronaut of the year. And everyone woke up like groggy-eyed, like, Merry Christmas. And I was like, I just saved the galaxy. And they were like, huh? It's such a really warm, fuzzy feeling for me. And it was just a wonderful experience. But that game, it doesn't age so well. Thankfully, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is really making a lot of improvements. It kind of hovers in between remake and remaster, whereas a remake does everything from scratch. They opted not to bring this game into Unreal Engine 4 and instead kept it in Unreal Engine 3, but they compare it to lovingly reworking and bringing an old car up to speed. They have gone over the entire series, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, upgrading it to 4K HDR graphics, up to 60 frames per second, and touching every weapon, enemy, and character. Obviously, it's most notable in Mass Effect 1, where they're also improving the aiming, they're improving the gun balance, they're improving the Mako, of course, because driving that on the moon, oh my gosh, it made you never want to go to the moon, but they're retaining all of the story. They're keeping the game consistent. In fact, they're making it more consistent by ensuring that your character from 1, 2, and 3 can look the same, and you can use the iconic FemShep even in Mass Effect 1. They're adding a few customization options, which is a nice touch, but they're not adding multiplayer back in. It's the one part of the franchise that is missing. But this game was prolific with its DLC, 40 plus DLC packs, and they're all here. It's just like, Mass Effect represents the golden era for me, right? It's going to space, a big RPG in space, Bioware at its best. It's got cool combat, great character creation, the Paragon Renegade system where you get to decide, are you good or are you bad? How is it gonna work out? That fantastic final mission in Mass Effect 2, one of the best. And when DLC was so thrilling, like, oh my gosh, they're adding more about my favorite character? No way. A couple bucks to play, a whole new set of missions in Mass Effect 2, are you kidding me? It was just a really juicy era for video games. It's when things were starting to really, I think, come into their own and blossom into the internet digital era. And maybe there's some parts of this era that we could learn from today. But they are going to make sure that they're adding enough to bring it up to speed. They're bringing in a few leaves. They're adding extra puddles and changing up the lighting. They really want to make this look fantastic without looking Frankenstein. They're squashing a ton of bugs. They're just trying to lovingly bring this game into the modern era. And if you somehow missed Mass Effect the first time around, I think it's totally worth playing. There's a lot of great storylines there, some fantastic characters that you'll fall in love with, and if visually the game is up to par, or at least closer to what we would expect, then that is a really good thing. And I think it would be a great addition to the Switch library. It's kind of a franchise whole. We have a lot of great legendary video game IP on Nintendo Switch. You got Skyrim and Doom, you got Bioshock and Dark Souls. They've really brought a lot over. But EA typically has kind of poo-pooed the Switch. In fact, in 2019, they said they didn't think people wanted to play their games on Switch. So for Mac Walters to say, I'd love to see it and not rule it out, I think that it will happen. And I do really kind of like that theory that maybe it comes with the Switch Pro. Now, it's interesting to note that this game is not releasing natively on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. It is going to be backwards compatible with the Xbox One and PS4 versions, which is where it is releasing. So we're not taking things totally out of the Switch realm of possibility. So I'm very eager to see what they do. Can we also talk about for a second that Nintendo was working on a fantastic Mr. Fox style Star Fox series for Netflix? And the Zelda series on Netflix was real? Those were real! And then they scrapped them because Netflix leaked information about them. Nintendo is so secretive. Miyamoto wants to work on things in a pure chamber, right? It's like Bubble Boy, but Bubble Company. And Netflix leaked it, and they ruined it for all of us. A Star Fox little puppet series like Fantastic Mr. Fox? I'm sure Nintendo will dive into TV at some point. They are working on a Mario movie. They're opening up a theme park. They want to make their franchises massive. But we were so close. Loose lips sink ships, and in this case, they sink super cool Star Fox series. It is a little weird that it's 2021, we got these brand spanking new, ultra powerful consoles, and as gamers, we're currently most excited about a port of Mario 3D World and a port of Mass Effect, but I like what they're doing here. I think it looks really good, or at least as good as it can, and I'm proud of them for not just saying, hey, here's the games playable on the new consoles. Like, they lovingly went over and passed over every last part of these games and dolled it up visually and tightened the mechanics, enhanced some of the UI. Like, these are gonna be the best versions of these games. But there's something about space that gets my blood going. Like, it's the final frontier. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, and when done well, it can feel magical. It's why I'm super pumped for Starfield, Bethesda's new game, right? Because Fallout on the ground, Skyrim on ye old ground, Starfield in the sky. And when you're up there assembling a team, traveling the galaxy, taking on the evil aliens, it's quite the experience. And I really hope we get to play it on Switch, especially because they shortened the elevator load times. And you can totally skip the elevators. My least favorite part of the franchise, they fixed it. And maybe this will be a brand new beacon of light towards a new era of Mass Effect, a fan favorite franchise that seemed to drift astray in recent years. This could be its reclamation. Alright, but maybe you're not that into space RPGs. Maybe it's a bit slow for you. Good news, more big franchises are coming to Switch. Because when talking on the Switch's recent success, Christoph Gandon, the managing director of games at Virtuous, one of the best port houses around, they've brought such epics to Switch as LA Noire, Dark Souls Remastered, Bioshock the Collection, XCOM Collection, Final Fantasy XII. They have killed it. They said, hey, we're super proud of the Switch, and we are excited about new projects on the horizon for this summer and beyond, indicating that, hey, we're cooking as well. And those chefs, they make some delicious dishes, so it begs the question, what other franchises could come to Switch? Now, Virtuous, they've worked with a lot. As I mentioned, XCOM, they did Spyro Reignited trilogy, they've done the Outer Worlds, Dark Souls. Could we be in store for a new Dark Souls? I think that is one that is highly likely. Demon Souls, brought Bluepoint and PS5 right into the forefront, and that is a popular franchise. So getting Dark Souls 2 and 3, which we've heard rumored years ago, could be in the cards. I also look at their other games and I say, okay, they did LA Noire, would they dare tackle another Rockstar project? We've even heard those fringe rumors about like GTA on Switch. I don't see that one really happening. I think it'd be very exciting, but I just don't, it just doesn't, I don't know, I can't imagine GTA 4 or 5 on Nintendo Switch. Maybe they do have another Final Fantasy in the works. As I mentioned, they did 12. They also did 10 and 10-2 remastered. Could they bring some 13s over? Personally, I'd love to see them work with Dead Space. Or could they get in on the Crash 4 port? I'd love to see either of those hit Nintendo Switch, and Crash 4 feels likely. We saw that the 2020 release did have some mentions on its website about a Switch version, and hey, they helped out on Spyro Reignited Trilogy, so Virtuous, they already have a little bit of resume to work with those guys over there, and I think Crash 4 would be exciting because it's a relatively new game, and if it was me, I guess I'd rather have more newer third-party ports than I would older ports, but collections are fun as well. Mass Effect, Dead Space, those ones like you can't complain about. I'd also like to see the Batman Arkham collection hit Nintendo Switch. Arkham Asylum, City, and Night. Like we can skip over a few of the others, but in lieu of the upcoming Gotham Knights, which is not hitting Switch, I'd love to get my Batarang action on. A little Dark Knight portably would be pretty freaking cool, but it's good to know that Virtuous is hard at work, and that Switch calendar, which we talked about yesterday, being pretty empty right now, it's gonna fill up fast. Nintendo bound to announce things for the Zelda anniversary, the Pokemon anniversary. Third parties seem like they're gearing up as well. We might be out of the winter slump, even though Groundhog Day said 6 more weeks of winter. I'm excited, and I want to mention one other thing from Christoph Gandon. He said there's plenty more to come from the Switch family. Weird wording for a Switch that has a Switch and a Switch Lite. Is 2 a family? I guess it is, but I would say the Switch and the Switch Lite are less of a family and just one's a cheaper version. Is there more coming in this Switch family 3? Are they having a baby? A big baby, a powerful baby, a Switch Pro? We're going to talk about the Switch Pro, I'm sure, a lot between now and its launch day, but I feel like it's coming. And maybe more and more of these third-party titles are gearing up for that. Remember, we did have the rumor that Nintendo supposedly was telling developers, hey, prep your games for 4K. What better way than to show off some games that shine on other consoles, now able to shine on Switch? But let me know in the comments what franchise you'd love to have Virtuous bring to Switch. Whether it's a sequel, something that's never been on Switch, or something old or something recent. I want to hear from you. All right, another day, another episode, a lot more tea and a lot more fun for you and for me. I hope you guys are all doing well. Remember, happiness is a choice, and that might be trickier on some days compared to others, but take that deep breath, reset, recharge, and reclaim your smile. You got one life to live. Make the most of it. Thanks for spending a chunk of it with me. Hit that like button if you had fun. Talk at me in the comments. I'll be in there talking to you guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Until that time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart out there. I love you and appreciate you. Your support means the world to me. Have a great rest of your day. SwitchForce out.